Charlie Mackesy has been described as a world-class artist, selling his artwork to the likes of Whoopi Goldberg and Sting. When did you discover that you had artistic ability?
Good question. I mean, I think I probably knew that I could draw at school, but I think you need a reason to draw.
He found that reason about 25 years ago in a London park. An atheist at the time, he says he had a feeling that there must be more to this than meets the eye.
Jesus quietly introduced me to a journey into finding people really beautiful, which is how my art really began. Because I felt inside me he was going, look how beautiful is that guy sitting on that bench. And I would never have noticed him before.
In this bronze sculpture called The Return of the Prodigal Son, Mackesy captures the raw emotion of that familiar parable. It's located here at Holy Trinity, Brompton, one of the most influential churches in the Church of England.
Didn't believe any of it at all.
Mackesy is a popular speaker here, particularly with unbelievers.
Charlie appeals to people outside the church because he's not what they expect. You know, when you have a sort of picture of the evangelist, you don't picture Charlie Mackesy.
So I decided that what I'd do is, I was in bare feet anyway, so I stood on the loo seat like this.
He can be a bit unorthodox, like the day he describes hearing a gospel song for the first time at a music festival inside a portable toilet that was so filthy he stood on the seat to avoid the overflow. The song pierced through his atheism, moving him to tears.
And he's very humble, very unpretentious. He tells stories against himself.
I didn't really know what had happened to me, but as I was feeling it, my left foot slipped. And I went up to here.
While Mackesy's stories may not be for the faint of heart, he points out that those closest to Jesus, the disciples, could also be described as objectionable.
I realized that they were naughty people, unreligious people, people who didn't really have a religious etiquette, who probably wouldn't be that welcome in church.
I thought Christianity was be clean, come to church, be nice, don't use the F word, and you'll be accepted and liked, because that's the thing, it's a meritocracy. And if you want to belong, be a certain way. And he says you're loved. You're loved as you are, covered in whatever it is, on the inside or out.
I think he's the finest evangelist in the UK at the moment. People outside the church, I would rather take them to hear Charlie than anybody else in the UK.
And he wasn't joking.
That's completely ridiculous.
This all comes as a shock to Mackesy, which is understandable given his life story.
We had kind of religious things at school, and I hated it. We sang about God, but I didn't like God. I didn't think he existed, but if he did, I didn't like him.
How would you have described or defined a Christian?
Oh, someone who pretends to be good and judges people, and believes in an invisible friend that they've created.
After that strange yet profound encounter with Oh Happy Day, Mackesy moved to New Orleans, immersing himself in black gospel music and jazz.
And I wanted to say to my friends, there's a spirit behind this that is incredible. It's so full of life. Look at it. Look at these people. Look what they believe. Look what it does to them.
Mackesy sees his art foremost as a way to introduce God to the people he loves. Like Prodigal Daughter for a friend who struggled with bipolar disorder.
You know, if you try to explain your words like, oh, God loves you, or you're loved, they don't really carry any meaning at all. To be held is somewhere she always wanted. So I said, this is what God is like.
Mackesy's art is also a record of God's presence in his own life.
I really wanted to play the piano, but I was really rubbish. And for me, the angel represents the voice of God saying, I'm with you. I love you. We'll go there together. I'll help you with this. You're not alone.
And this painting, simply titled Known.
But there was one day when I was on my bike crossing a bridge in London, and it lasted about 11 seconds. but it was this kind of, you're known, you're loved. This God exists and he loves you, he knows you, you're known, you're fully known, you're fully known. Warts, darkness. You don't have to pretend to be anything.
John Jessup, CBN News, London.